Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Oh, I haven't been behind the board this early in the morning in a while. I almost missed turning on my own microphone.
Your own? Your mic one?
Mic one. It was off program. Someone was pre-recording. I assume the J-Bear.
I see. Didn't go through the pre-morning checklist, I see.
Well, see, I usually do that when I come in and make sure like all the commercials are placed where I want them to be and just kind of organize things ahead of the morning show. I normally hit that program button just proactively because I know Jesse's not going to look for it.
Yeah.
Smart. And he's put up the mics, fire on air, and he's going to say, mornings at the... click.
Yep.
Mornings at the Cabin. And then that's just going to set off the entire morning show on the wrong foot. And I almost did it to myself. That close. Good morning. Happy Wednesday morning to you. AJ and Lecter with you this morning. No Jesse Wheeler, and the verdict is out as to whether or not he is in the doghouse with his absence because he messaged us last night. Wednesdays are kind of his regular morning off. Phoenix works late on Tuesdays. And, you know, as couples like to do, they like to see each other a little bit.
I guess.
At least a little bit, you know?
I'll take your word for it.
From time to time. And so he usually takes Wednesdays off. He messaged us to let us know. And I said, you got Monday off. And then he's like, all right. Wednesday's your usual day. I get it.
Sure.
But I'll only be okay with it if you go and visit your mother after work. For goodness sake. If you were listening yesterday, we found out that Jesse is a rotten son.
He's been neglecting his own mother.
Neglecting his own mother that lives in the same town as him, in a town that is not under the shroud of COVID.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Lecter and AJ with you on your Wednesday morning. Minus 30.3 degrees, according to our ridiculously accurate weather playout software. I'm taking a different route to work than I used to for the past 3 years here at the Cabin. And I walk by that YK Center screen.
Oh, the temperature sign.
Yeah. And once again, I think it was saying like minus 25.
You sure you want to open this barrel?
It's
been a bit of a touchy subject in this town.
No, I don't want to get that guy all fired up.
There's a community. There's a group. I guarantee there's a Facebook group out there that is just trying to get that sign fixed.
Well, and Ollie interviewed that guy, the guy who programs it or like tries to program it.
Yep.
They have different messages on there. College programs going on that they'll roll through the messages as they go. And of course, the weather and the time comes up on rotation. And yeah, he interviewed him a few years ago, and we did a story about how tourists were essentially being cheated.
They're gypped
out of their Instagram moment.
If anything, go colder.
That's right. Yeah.
For the picture, for the gram.
Well, exactly. Yeah. And that was the thing. You want to stand under that sign when it says like minus 40, but it says like minus 36.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No one's going to think I'm cool with this temp.
Right. Exactly. How's that going to go viral?
Just leave it at minus 40 if that's the case.
Yeah. I don't know how Instagram works, but if there's likes instead of loves, you're not going to get loves on that one.
I think you just get likes.
You just get likes.
Yeah. I bet it is in the shape of a heart. So
yeah.
You be the judge.
Okay. Anyway, minus 30 this morning. So make sure if you are walking to work, you are wrapping up and wearing the appropriate attire. I did not. My legs were quite numb by the time I got to work. So don't be like Lecter. That is your Wednesday morning lesson.
In general.
Your Monday morning lesson, AJ, as you walked into the cabin, was that you cannot rely on anyone here at the cabin.
It's a pretty dark message for Monday morning, yeah.
You came in, of course, on Saturday night. Most of the folks here at Cabin Radio got together. Save for yourself, you were out of town. You were in Fort Smith,
yep.
and our social media manager Louisa, who is just too cool for us.
She's just too cool, and I get that.
Yeah,
she is.
It's fair.
Too cool for us.
Yeah. Sarah Price pointed out it's nice to have Louisa here to now not be the token person who gets dumped on for making other plans and being too cool for us.
Yes.
Now Sarah feels. I think Sarah, she's a few years older into her Cabin Radio tenure, and I think she's starting to settle in and realize she's not too cool for us. And she's like actually showing up to to like company functions and stuff now.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that.
Yeah,
basically right off the hop, but it took her a little while to come to that conclusion.
Yeah.
So I'm glad she's finally there.
Yeah. She's coming into her own nicely.
Yeah.
Louisa still convinced that she's too cool for us, so didn't make an appearance. But most of the Cabin Radio collective and volunteer show hosts came, brought a ton of food, just way too much food. Like everyone was just chomping at the bit for a potluck. It had been too long since anyone had been allowed to have a potluck. Don't worry, there was no finger food. All serving spoons.
Of course.
And we, decontaminated the serving spoons in between each use. We don't need to get into it. But it was a great time had by all, but you came in Monday morning and I'll just describe for everyone your experience as you walk through those doors.
Well, and kudos to you because you really picked up on it pretty quick. I think I said about 3 words and I heard around the corner of the office, "Oh, you're grumpy, huh?"
I think my exact words were, "Holy grumpy guy."
That's exactly what it was. And in that moment, I did clue in. I went, "Oh, well, that's not good," right off the hop on a Monday morning. But I did come in and there was the table set up and they had the crock pots.
Yes. The leftover crock pots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then there was
like no food in them.
No food in them. Yeah.
I mean, they weren't clean, but
no, but there was no food in them. Yeah. It wasn't like there was food laying around, which is good. That's a positive.
Yeah.
There was a chair kind of tucked into my desk, an additional chair.
I blame Emily on that one.
There's another couple things on my desk. And anyways, I'm tired. I had a long weekend. I basically worked all weekend. It was a blast, but I worked all weekend. And I came in and there's just a little bit of a mess. And I should have been a little more empathetic.
Right.
You vacuumed and for the most part it was quite clean.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't completely organized.
Right. Yeah.
And anyways,
there's a table where there shouldn't have been a table and stuff on top of the table.
And as the day went on, it only got worse.
Yeah. And I feel like you came in like you were fully anticipating basically that scene. Oh, okay.
No, see, I think the problem is I forgot.
Okay.
I forgot, and then I came in and went, "Oh yes, of course, I'm gonna have to clean up the stuff from the event that I did not attend."
I think those were your exact words as you walked through the door.
I think it was. Yeah.
You strolled in. Oh, of course, AJ has to clean up everything.
Let me dust off my shackles.
And so you did. You cleaned up everything,
and I did. Yeah.
And I wanted to bring this up because there was also it was pointed out to me. I was not around for this, but apparently I don't know if it was later on Monday or if it was yesterday. You and several of the new staff did a office fridge clean out day.
Oh yeah,
and
this went on for 2 days.
Oh, 2 days.
Oh, I went on
that's not even a big fridge.
I went on a rampage. No, all of it.
Oh wow.
I not only cleaned out the little fridge, I cleaned out the big fridge.
Oh yeah.
And, get this, I cleaned under the sink.
Whoa.
What psychopath even opens that cupboard?
Wow.
This guy.
That predates our time here.
I folded the towels.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. It was pretty wild. I even matched up the Tupperware with the lids.
You were out of control.
Out of control. I was on an absolute rampage.
Wow. Final question for that office fridge, because I don't want to encourage you. You're already off the rails.
My face is red right now.
What was that green thing? Was there a final consensus on that green thing?
We don't know what it was.
Okay.
But we all agree that we really, really hope it was originally green because it was really green when we saw it. And if it was more of like a beige or a white.
Right. Yeah.
Then it's really bad. But we didn't just throw it out. We threw out the entire container.
Yeah.
There was a Tupperware. I'm like, don't even open that thing.
There's only so much you can do sometimes.
That's going in the bin.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was gross. I can't describe to you.
Well done, sir. A successful office cleanup day. Thank you for cleaning up our leftover mess from the Cabin Radio 3-year anniversary party.
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
I had a weird dream last night.
Oh, was I in it?
You were in it, actually.
Oh, no.
Which is why I bring it up.
I get a lot of texts like this. I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of texts from friends all over. I have a couple friends in Calgary that have texted me recently. I haven't seen them in a long, long time, saying, hey, I just had a dream with you in it last night.
Oh, really?
So I don't know why I'm popping up in everyone's dreams, but...
Were their dreams radio related too?
No. But
okay.
It was funny because she's like, in my dream, you were really annoyed.
Ah.
And I was like, oh.
Because they'd left a mess and you had to clean it up, right?
I think it was something along that line. I was like, you know what? I'm generally annoyed these days. So I think we've got some sort of a connection here.
Mine was not, there was no mess. There was, we were here. We were here at Cabin Radio.
Oh, it must have been quite pleasant then.
No.
Oh, man.
Everything.
Just a monster in everyone's dream?
No, you actually were great.
Okay.
You were keeping me somewhat calm because everything, basically you and I were, maybe it was an anticipation of this morning, you and I hosting the show.
You're like, oh, I've got to be with AJ tomorrow morning. This is going to be a nightmare.
I better be on my game. No, just kidding. Everything was different. Like everything, the studio was completely different. You know, everything from simple things to like my mouse was on the other side for some reason.
Ooh, a lefty.
Yeah, the board was like in a weird spot. And as we were trying to do a morning show, everything just started breaking down. Like, and you know, like I think like my mic stand like broke in half. I was like holding my microphone. And as all this was happening, you were behind the scenes, like scurrying around trying to fix everything as it broke down in real time. And I was just sitting there grumpily narrating everything that was going wrong on the air. And that was, in a nutshell, that was essentially basically the dream. And then randomly, one of my friends from Winnipeg, who was also named Scott, just kind of waltzed in.
Good.
I have no idea why.
Sounded like we needed the help.
We needed a second Scott.
Yeah, one Scott wasn't cutting it.
One Scott was absolutely breaking down, having a temper tantrum, meltdown. We needed another Scott to come in and reinforce.
A stand-in.
That's right. I don't remember what significance he had to the dream, but he just showed up. I think he kind of cheered me up a little bit.
Bit of an honorable mention.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It was very strange. And this is the second time I've had a dream of this nature in like as many weeks. I accidentally played a Christmas song. I don't know why there was a Christmas song scheduled, but I just like wasn't paying attention, and it just played unbeknownst to me until it was like midway through, and I was like, what? Why am I playing a Christmas song? How did this happen?
Interesting. You almost dated your own dream.
Yeah.
You went, obviously, it's nowhere near Christmas.
No,
So
it's a very like real time.
Oh.
Yeah. It was very much, early to mid-March.
I want to dissect this a little bit. Maybe we should get you to lay down on the couch for the next break.
I think it's pretty easily explainable. There is a lot of change going on in my life right now. And if I can Freudian up my own experience here, I think that's basically it. It's my subconscious's response to the change going on in my life, and me kind of feeling like I'm like not totally in control of it, but apparently I'm going to like grumpily narrate my way through it.
And how does that make you feel?
Frazzled.
Frazzled.
A wee bit frazzled.
Okay, you don't need to throw your medical terms at me.
But nevertheless, you were an absolute sweetheart. You kept things. You did what you could.
Well, that's all I can ask.
The world was breaking down around us, and you were doing your absolute damnedest to keep it from collapsing completely. And I think, in a nutshell, that is kind of what you do here at Cabin Radio.
I feel like I'm constantly putting duct tape on my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I think that was what it was. It was my brain basically saying, like, hey, there's a lot going on right now. A lot of things are changing. Just be aware, because you may not be handling it in the best way.
Okay, and your one constant is this radio station. And your biggest fear is that something goes wrong with that.
And that I play a Christmas song.
And that you...
accidentally.
And the climax of all that, the conclusion of this entire ordeal is that you accidentally played a Christmas song.
Yeah.
Which is not a big deal at all.
Oh, it's not a big deal, huh? Well, then I guess we should just play a Christmas song right now. How about that?
Don't act crazy.
I'm going to do it.
You're emotional.
I'm doing it.
Don't do it.
Bing Crosby. Good King Wenceslas. Mornings at the Cabin.
Cabin Radio's Morning Show podcast. All the best chat, none of the embarrassing mistakes.
AJ was in Fort Smith this past weekend, as we just alluded to a little bit earlier while talking about his rude awakening upon returning to the Cabin Radio offices and cleaning up everything. But before that...
You trying to upset me?
I'm sorry. Before that, you had a lovely weekend.
I did. Funny enough.
Tell us all about it.
I had a lovely weekend, then came back grumpy.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I was down in Fort Smith for NWT Snowboards Territorials.
Okay.
So the Territorial Championships. And they also decided, so wherever we do it, the host club will really take on quite a bit of it.
Right. Yeah.
So if it's in Yellowknife here, the Ragged Rider Snowboard Club, they'll take on a big chunk of it, mainly for volunteers, and it's their hill. So, from logistically speaking, they know what to do.
Right.
So same thing in Smith. The club there is called Slide Zone Shredders.
Okay.
Yeah, with a Z.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, should
of course.
specify that, yeah.
Shredders or shredders?
Shredders, both. And they were awesome. They've ramped up quite a bit this year, just from an organizational standpoint. The one thing they don't have down there is a lift.
Oh,
so
okay.
Here at Bristol Pit, they have what they call a ponytail lift.
Right. This is like a tow rope?
Kind of, yeah. It's similar to like a T-bar, but a way smaller version.
Okay.
You see them on bunny hills quite a bit.
Right.
At big hills. So they have one of those here, which is great. But down there, they don't. But the hill that they have is amazing.
I've
never seen it before.
It's not a pit?
It's not a pit. It's a riverbank.
Oh, wow.
So I was talking to Canada Snowboard about this, and I was describing the 3 locations we have in NWT.
Okay.
So we have a gravel pit in Yellowknife. We have a riverbank that's slowly dipping into the river in Fort Smith. And then we have a cut line in Simpson.
A cut line?
Yeah. So they clear trees to lay like power cables and things like that.
Oh, okay.
So for whatever reason, there's no power cables there, but there is a cut line.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's a fire break or whatever it is, but it's just a big
It's not just for the snowboarders?
Just a channel through the trees.
Okay.
It's pretty funny. It's very narrow, but it's pretty cool too. So, yeah, pretty hilarious. I'm talking to the guy that organizes our Olympic athletes for snowboarding.
Right.
And I'm describing a gravel pit, a riverbank, and a cut line.
And he's like, okay, pay no attention to the NWT.
Well, those guys are weird up there, yeah. So, yeah, I went down there, and it is gorgeous. So it's really long. It's basically the whole riverbank. They have a snowboard cross track, so like a banked track that you can race down.
Oh, wow.
Then they have a couple features, like a box and like a little jump for the little ones.
Okay.
And then they have a big air, and it's awesome. Like it's huge, and they've got 2 options, like a small and a big one. And they're quite big. They're decent sized jumps. Then they have like a rail jam course that curls around. So you start actually going across the hill, and then you take a left and then go to, and they've got like, 12, 13 features. And then beyond that, they've just got a beautifully groomed face for learners.
Okay. Like a bunny hill.
Yeah. But it's a really, really nice slope, and beautifully groomed. It was just, I was really blown away.
That would be my neighborhood.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're learning.
Yeah.
That was something I really stressed here in Yellowknife. I was like, we need just a groomed run.
Right.
Because teaching kids how to turn in between jumps and rails seemed a little dicey at times.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to go over a jump you had no intention.
Yeah, or rail.
Hitting. Or rail.
Like all of a sudden you're just riding a rail by accident.
Oh my God.
That's a little scary.
That sounds like a movie scene.
Yeah.
Like an
accidental board slide.
Yeah, just like a comedic escape scene.
Yeah, they give him a 10 for his run.
Yeah.
Like, no, I was just trying to get to the bottom.
That's right. I was just trying to get away from this guy who's trying to kill me.
Yeah, I don't even know how to turn.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was really, really cool to see. I don't know how to describe it. I never thought in the NWT we'd have something so set up like this.
So this is still fairly new.
Fairly new.
Yeah.
I mean, they built that facility for Arctic Winter Games.
Okay.
In 2018, I believe.
Okay.
So they had Tyler Nickel from Whitehorse, who is like a world-class park builder.
Okay.
So he's built half pipes for the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
And he lives in Whitehorse. He rides at Mount Sema. So he came over and he designed a lot of it. So it was already kind of set up, but he obviously just can't come every year to tell everyone what to do.
He seems like a busy guy.
He seems like a busy
Maybe
guy.
Not in the last year or so, but
I think he's pretty bored lately. Yeah. But we can't actually bring him because he's got to chill out for 2 weeks.
Right.
No one wants to do that. So, so it's just the local community. TDC Contracting and Precision Industries, they show up with a snowcat. They groom the hill. They don't have a lift. This is another cool part. They don't have a lift. So over the weekend, they just had volunteer snowmobile drivers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there was probably 8 snowmobiles on site at all times with toboggans. And actually, because of COVID, we actually purchased some longer toboggans.
Okay.
So you could still fit 3 kids, but they were distanced.
Right.
So that was kind of a cool thing. So you get to ride down the hill. Then you get a fun boggin ride up the hill on a snowmobile, which was cool.
I would have loved that option the one time I tried snowboarding, which was a total disaster.
Oh, no. What happened?
Oh, I just
You just sucked.
I sucked.
Yeah.
It was like, I think I was 12 or 13, and my school did this really cool thing that I don't know if they're still doing it. I hope they are, because I think the concept was great. They did a day out of school that they called Experience Day. And basically the idea was just to try something new. So you could pick from skiing and snowboarding at, believe it or not, there are ski hills in Manitoba.
I choose not to believe it.
Fair enough. There you could go to Pan Am Pool and swim and do that. There was like a couple other options. I can't remember what the other ones were. Those are the ones that stick out in my mind. I think those are the ones I was going to choose between.
We had something similar called Exploratories.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you could do a teacher would do like a guitar class.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, things like that. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so just the whole idea was trying something new. I think it was more geared towards like outdoor or just like physical activity sort of thing. So I had always that was kind of, when would that have been? Like late 90s. So like right around the time of the 98 Nagano Olympics.
Okay.
Ross Begliotti had just won the gold medal for Canada. And it might have been just in between the time when he, lost his medal, then got it again for the whole supposed doping scandal. But we don't need to get into that.
We don't need to talk about it.
But yeah, so I think that was the first year that snowboarding was part of the Olympics. And and he was a big star in Canada when he won that first gold medal. And so, as it always happens when you're a kid at that time, you kind of you're like, oh, I want to try that. That looks so fun. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I really wanted to try snowboarding. So this Experience Day thing came up. I got the opportunity to go try snowboarding and learn that I'm not a snowboarder, which I guess in itself was an experience that maybe you need to learn. I don't know. I do blame
style for it.
You think so?
If I looked at you, I'd be like, yeah, that guy probably shreds.
Right. Yeah. I don't shred.
No.
I shred nothing.
Wow.
I do partially blame it on the teacher because we got like a brief instructional, just the basics of snowboarding before they set us free onto the hill.
This is how you do it. Go figure it out.
Yeah. Basically, he didn't even teach us how to turn.
Oh.
He taught us how to stop.
I mean,
which is important.
That's a good place to start.
I'm glad he taught us that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he didn't really teach us how to turn. And so I remember I don't think I made it off the bunny hill.
That's fair.
And I was going down and I remember at one point thinking I was actually able to keep my balance. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. But I'm just going straight down this hill.
Yeah, you're seeing the Olympics at the bottom of the hill. You're like, if I can just make it to the bottom of this bunny hill.
There's a scout watching. I know it.
I'm going to make it.
And my whole goal was to make it down the bunny hill without falling. And so I'm going down just straight shot. And this kid falls in front of me. And I remember just being like, oh my God, get out of the way. And I narrowly missed, just smashing into them. And I think I fell because of, the anticipation of trying to avoid them in the end.
You put your body on the line for their safety.
Yeah, exactly. And
you're a hero.
My knees just took an absolute pounding that day.
Your knees?
My knees. Yeah, because I kept falling forward on my knees. And
you're catching your toe edge?
Oh, my God. 13 years old, and I already had the knees of a 40-year-old after that day.
Oh.
And the tow rope was also a point of contention. I couldn't make it up. I
tell my kids this all the time. If you can figure out the tow rope, you've just mastered one of the hardest things in snowboarding.
Man,
it is true. If you can get it, if you can really get it, and you're comfortable with it, once you got that, everything is not as hard.
Well, everything was twice as hard because I could not get up the tower.
Well, and another point to help you is skiing is quite easy to learn,
right,
but very difficult to get good at. Snowboarding is much harder to learn, but easier to get good at.
Okay. I would like to try it again someday.
Well, boy, do we have some really nice facilities in the NWT.
Okay.
Bristol Pit is awesome, and Fort Smith is incredible, and Simpson, they're just starting. I'll be in Simpson next week, actually, for a clinic.
Okay.
So hopefully the village gets on that and just kind of slopes the hill a little bit, because that would be great to have a third place where it's actually really designed for snowboarding.
This could be a really fun late winter / early spring of teaching, because I still plan on teaching Ollie how to skate.
Oh, okay.
And so if you could teach me how to snowboard, I think we'd become a really well-rounded team here at Cabin
I think
Radio.
that's what we need.
Yeah.
We need more snow sports at our radio job.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. And then maybe, by the end of it, I'll have the knees of a 60-year-old.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Interesting news in and around Facebook yesterday night, and I assume we will follow up with this here on Cabin Radio. Get your Lynx Wrestling shirts out. There's another Lynx in town.
Bing, bing, bing. Round 2.
Let's get ready to rumble!
In Tin Can Hills corner, the Lynx. In the other corner, every small animal and child.
Well, we know that the Lynx has many people in its corner. Just the Lynx, the proverbial Lynx in general, not even the previous one. God rest its soul. But now there's a new Lynx, and I assume that because of the sentiments of those who thought it was, I don't want to say appalling, but yeah, some people definitely expressed that.
It's tough. It happens every time. Remember the bear in Hay River, and I think there was a bear in town too. They had to put down recently.
Yeah. So of course, if you're a regular listener to Mornings at the Cabin or a resident of Yellowknife, you were well aware, because this was all we talked about a couple weeks ago, that there was a Lynx in town. It had been spotted first, just starting its own parade down Franklin Avenue,
refusing to get off the road,
holding up traffic. I think it just assumed that it was a hero's welcome into town. It was like, yeah, all right, this is pretty good. This must be for me.
He was just late for the last parade.
That's right. And then he was spotted all over town, making visits in every neighborhood, and then, of course, getting into wrestling matches with a couple dogs.
Human beings.
A human being. This Lynx just had a big week out. Unfortunately, that ended in its ultimate termination.
Yeah.
Because, of course, as ENR pointed out, and fair enough, that it seemed to be acting a little bit odd, getting into altercations with dogs where humans are right there, which is strange. You would think that a lynx would be scared off by the presence of humans, or at the very least would hide and not be brazen enough to kind of jump out right in front of it.
Yeah,
and
they're not big.
They're not big.
Someone commented in our last story about the last lynx. They're like 12 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're bigger than 12 pounds.
Yeah.
They're like 40, and they can get up to like 80 pounds.
Right.
But still, like Dre was 85 pounds.
Yeah.
So no bigger than Dre.
Yeah, the size of a mid-sized to small dog.
Yeah, if you needed to jump on one, we learned that you can do that.
Yeah. So there's another lynx that has been spotted at Tin Can Hill. Supposedly or allegedly, until confirmed, although I don't know why I would question this person's story, they had a 5-minute standoff?
Yeah, I got a text yesterday from a friend of mine saying, what should I do? I just had a 5-minute standoff with a lynx on Tin Can Hill. So I sent her the number. I said, call ENR and let them know.
Yeah.
So she did that.
Yeah.
And no issues. No issues with this one.
Right.
Her little 45, 50-pound dog really puffed out the chest and protected her owner, which I thought was adorable.
So did the lynx back down?
I don't know.
How did this end?
A mutual agreement.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe she threw like $10 on the ground and paid him off or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, these lynx have now been amongst the town for so long. I think they're probably, cultured. Like used to human life.
They like painting.
Yeah. Wearing Blundstones.
Reading books.
Hipster lynxes.
Right. Play chess from time to time.
Exactly. You just throw a Frappuccino as far as you can. They'll go for it every time. It's got to be Starbucks, though.
So obviously, it remains to be seen what the measures or end result will be with this lynx. If it hangs around on Tin Can Hill, which we know, obviously, if you are a Yellowknife resident who owns a dog, you probably frequent Tin Can Hill at least a couple times a week. It is like the prime winter dog walking spot in Yellowknife. So. Yeah, we'll see what happens there, but I'm starting to wonder, like, because obviously the reasoning for the termination of the lynx a couple weeks ago was that it was acting brazenly. Mm-hmm. It attacked a couple dogs where there were humans in the presence.
Yep.
Where you would think that it would just not get involved, not want to be in that situation.
Yeah, like I'm not going to go push a kid when their dad is the Rock.
Right. Especially if their dad's big.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
That's right. I mean,
I wouldn't push a kid anyway. I see the look you're giving me. I wouldn't push a kid anyways.
Okay,
but just
good.
More so.
Yeah, AJ's acting real brazenly. Yeah. He's just shoving kids.
Yeah. And kids he doesn't normally shove.
Yeah.
That's the odd part.
Right. Yeah. Like cute kids.
Cute kids with huge fathers behind them.
Kids with glasses.
Yeah. I had glasses. I'm allowed.
Okay.
I'm allowed.
That's fair. So obviously a standoff with a human and a dog kind of implies that this lynx is
thinking about it.
Yeah, like acting similarly brazenly, I guess, unless it just maybe it's just like a deer or lynx caught in the headlights type of situation where it just didn't expect to see a dog and
never seen a human,
or maybe never seen a human.
Like, what the heck is that thing?
And it's just like kind of frozen.
Weirdest looking bird I've ever seen.
I mean, I guess that's the thing. Like, if it doesn't attack, is that acting brazen? Like, if it's just standing there and staring at you, like not quite knowing what to do. I'm not sure. I don't know if that falls under the dictionary definition of a lynx acting brazenly.
Yeah. What is lynx brazen? Is it different to us being brazen?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what the protocol is.
Yeah.
Because some animals they'll capture and then take deep into the woods.
Yeah.
But I know some animals like bears, once they get into something,
right,
they're just going to come back. Doesn't matter where you put them, they're going to come back because they know that's where food is.
Right.
So I'm really not sure where the protocol. Hopefully they don't have to put this lynx down.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if it is a huge risk to animals, and I keep seeing children. People keep saying, watch your dogs and your small children.
Right.
And I feel like at some stage, there must have been an altercation between a small child and a lynx. I mean, obviously, you'd be worried about it. It's a small child, but
it was the mega fight of the century. You don't remember?
Some like beefy little 3-year-old just taking on a lynx.
Little Wilson versus the lynx?
Yeah. Oh, man, what a fight that would be.
Oh, you couldn't find a ticket to that one.
No. Sold out instantly.
Nevertheless, yeah, obviously, we hope that obviously just maybe avoid Tin Can Hill for today.
Hopefully ENR gets a hold of it.
ENR has been alerted to the situation, so they will definitely be looking into that. But yeah, just be aware, maybe avoid the area with your dogs and your small children for today. Perhaps take them somewhere else on a dog walk. And hopefully everything should work out fine. Just, maybe, again, head down to Signed, grab your Lynx wrestling shirt, put that on, let the Lynx know that you're not to be messed with.
Frankly, we should just contract the last lady who tackled the first one.
Right, exactly.
She was obviously the most effective in this situation.
Or fly Des down here, TAW Wrestling. Ooh. Like, it's time to put together a faction against this Lynx.
All right, ENR, get on it.
All right, that'll do it. For Mornings at the Cabin.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.